Hi everybody, and welcome to First Response, a television show about the Woodbury, Minnesota Public Safety Department. I'm Officer Chris Rowe with my partners Yvette Hammond and Spencer Schofield.
Howdy,
Hello.
howdy.
We're outside on a beautiful May day here in Woodbury, Minnesota.
May Day, May Day.
May Day.
It's already May and it's gorgeous.
Finally. So
No snow.
2 weeks ago it was snowing, and here we are. It's almost 70 degrees. We're on the back side of the Public Safety Building with the Veterans Memorial behind us, and we thought we'd just kind of share some of our beautiful weather with you guys while we film this month. We've got a lot to talk about, so why don't we get going?
Members of the Woodbury Fire Department participated in vehicle extrication last month. Using the Jaws of Life tool, firefighters ripped the doors off of a wrecked car to practice removing a patient from a vehicle crash. Unfortunately, these types of calls have been increasing in Minnesota due to distracted driving.
So
Okay.
speaking of distracted driving and texting and driving, stopped a car the other day. Woman was in her mid to late 40s, so not a teenager.
Are you looking at me when you say
Whoa.
that?
And I said lower 40s for you. Yeah, not even. I mean,
Right.
and she's got her cell phone up on the steering wheel, so she's holding the steering wheel with the phone right there. So it's pretty obvious as I drive by.
In a squad, right? You're in your
I'm
squad.
in my mark squad. Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Stop her, and do you know why I stopped you? And she says, "Was it because I was doing the voice texting?" And I said, "Yeah, voice texting is still." Texting is still distracted driving.
Right.
And it was kind of a neat conversation because she's like, geez, I haven't been stopped ever. And she's like, I know the rules, I know the laws, I understand that it's a safety thing. And she's like, and yet I still was doing it. And she's like, and to be honest with you, it wasn't even that important. I'm like, right.
Oh,
So
exactly.
it was an interesting conversation. So I didn't give her a ticket. I gave her a written warning. So it looks just like a citation, but it's a written
reminder
warning.
kind
Yep,
of thing?
And I said, tell you what, why don't you hang this in your visor? And it's a reminder for you and maybe your kids or your family members. We all have different ways of dealing with it, but it happens this was at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday with an adult woman just driving home from working out. So it's...
And that's good she recognized it, but let's recognize that it's not important when you get in the car.
Yeah.
And just put it
It's
away,
such
which
a-
is really hard for
I tell you what,
adults
I know
and kids.
We talk about it, and you see the commercials, and State
Yes.
Patrol puts the stuff out, and
Yep.
and we have special days where we're stopping cars, and we drive around all day, and
You still see people.
all the time.
I'll be going to calls and I'll see people going the opposite direction,
But think about it.
texting, looking down on their phones.
That's in
and-
your squad. I mean,
Yeah,
in our
fully
personal cars,
Oh, yeah.
think about how many times you're on the road and you just expect to see that
Right.
on their phone or texting, and it's like, yep, he's texting, he's all over the road,
Right.
he's on the phone, she's on the whatever. It's just become a unfortunate norm that we have to break.
It is, and people are so used to the phone thing. For those watching the show, we just be careful, just to stay off your phone for a few minutes.
Pay attention to your driving.
Yeah, it's bad
and-
enough when you're changing the radio or goofing around, let
Right.
alone when you're on your phone.
Yeah.
So be safe, be smart, and hopefully nothing bad will happen to you. The Cops and Bobbers fishing event is coming up soon. On June 20th, police officers will gather at Powers Lake Fishing Pier for an evening of fishing and fun. This is a free event. Check the police department's website for more information.
Every so often, members of the Woodbury Public Safety Department get a chance to meet up with someone they have saved during a critical incident. Over the last year, they've gotten to know a Hudson woman whose survival story is nothing short of miraculous.
Yeah, I think that's why it's not quite.
When lasagna is on the menu, Julie Connor's family makes the trip to Hudson, Wisconsin
Not quite done lasagna yet.
from all around the Twin Cities.
Why? Just to be a little.
It seems like an ordinary dinner, one that the average family might take for granted.
He's got a big appetite.
But not this family.
It was January 18th, 2017, and I was working with a trainer at Lifetime Fitness. Her name is Abby. It was maybe a minute or so that I started with her right there, and what she tells me is I looked at her and reached for her, and she caught me And I said, "Oh, Abby," or something to that nature, and just totally collapsed.
Thinking quickly, the trainer called 911, triggering a response from Woodbury Public Safety.
Call came in as a cardiac arrest. A lot of times we get those calls. I mean, they could be a diabetic reaction. It could be that somebody just worked out too hard and, were just dehydrated and they passed out. We still treat it as a cardiac arrest and go from there.
Woodbury's public safety system is set up so that the nearest officers can respond during any crisis. 2 police officers, Sergeant Chris Donahoe and Officer Chris Ployhart, were the first on the scene. They found Julie in full cardiac arrest.
As an officer, you don't get a lot of these calls because the paramedics deal with the majority of the medicals. But when you hear someone's down, a lot of times officers will go to assist in case it is a cardiac arrest, because having been on so many of them, you know how much it entails.
Sergeant Donahoe, who has training as a paramedic, began leading operations.
You could see a crowd had gathered, kind of directed me to where she was, and got there and did a quick assessment, checked for breathing, checked for pulse, didn't find any.
The officer's first priority was to start the heart.
Officer Ployhart arrived shortly thereafter. Seeing that there wasn't any active breathing or a feelable pulse, I directed him to do chest compressions to get the oxygen that was already in her system recirculating again.
Shortly after, Woodbury EMS arrived. Paramedic Val Huerta led the team of responders trying to save Julie's life. Through the use of meds, an AED, and Lucas device, Julie's heart began to pump, but she was still not responding.
The medics and everyone that was there in the crew were to talk about, this is really odd. We come to find out later that she had a brain bleed, which then in turn caused a cardiac arrest, which is the reason why we were able to bring her back so quickly. It really wasn't a heart problem, it was a brain problem that caused her heart to stop. So by the quick response of doing CPR, getting the medication in her, and then shocking her, we were able to get her heart going again.
The paramedics loaded Julie into the ambulance. Recognizing the serious situation she was in, they traveled to Regions Hospital, which is better equipped to handle brain injuries. As the ambulance left, Julie's son Nathan was called by Lifetime Fitness to explain what was happening.
And they just asked if I had gotten a call from him yet. And I said I hadn't, but I wasn't really interested in renewing my membership because I had been a member there. And he said, "No, this is about Julie Connor." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "We're calling to let you know that Julie Connor collapsed at the gym this morning while she was working out."
Nathan raced to the hospital, arriving at the same time as Julie.
I actually opened the doors on the ambulance before they were even ready to open them. It's a terrifying sight to see somebody you love in that bad a shape. And there's kind of silence for the first second when I opened those doors, and then I was fully expecting somebody to say, "You can't be here," or "We need you to get out of the way." And one of the EMTs just looked at me and he said,
"Okay, we got a pulse back. All that's good, and we're just doing everything we can."
Grab her arm and help us wheel her inside. And there was something about those words that he said that were really calming and really reassuring. But mostly it was just, I could tell how much those guys cared about her and about what they were doing.
Although she was at the hospital, she wasn't out of the woods yet.
I kept bugging that doctor for the half hour, the 45 minutes we were in the emergency room, what are her chances? What can we do? Is there anything else we can do? And he said, "Nope, we just got to get a CT scan, but your mom's definitely one of the sickest people in the hospital right now." And, it's pretty apparent that her chances weren't great and that it was going to be a long haul.
Her outcome looked grim. Only about 7% of people who suffer ruptured aneurysms survive. On life support, Julie was rushed in for emergency brain surgery in a last-ditch effort to save her life. She underwent a second surgery in the evening to put drains in her skull to relieve the pressure on the brain. Miraculously, she survived.
I don't remember ever feeling any of that. I think I asked Nate a couple times when I finally got extubated with the ventilator and whatnot if I was dying. And he goes, "No, you've already done that a couple times. So that was a good response.
Weeks of therapy were ahead of her, but through it all, her children and grandchildren were there for her. On April 3rd, 2017, for the first time since the incident, Julie made a return to Woodbury, this time to meet the men that saved her life.
You know, I've been doing this job just a little over 20 years now, and I've never had success with saving a patient. And it was just cool to see, you know, her come back and like, she's living life, she's happy, her son's super happy. So it was a cool experience.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear from the people that want to come back and thank us. We don't expect people to come back and thank us. It's our job, just like it's someone's job to be working at Wells Fargo today. It's our job. That's what we get paid for. This is what we do. This is the line of duty that we decided to do.
To the officers of the Public Safety Department, it's all in a day's work. To the family of Julie Connor, it's the work of extraordinary people.
I do have a different feeling now when I see an ambulance with its lights on the highway. And just makes you think about the people that are in there, both people that are having a really tough day, and also the heroes that are in there, you know, trying their best to save a life that day. And it really makes you look at ambulances in a different way after that experience.
So, tonight's menu includes lasagna, salad, and bread. But it also includes an ingredient that could have been lost forever a year ago. The love of a mother, a grandmother, and a friend.
Everything that they did for me was just amazing. And then to have the outcome I had, I mean, it couldn't have been better, honestly, it couldn't have. That team set me up for success. So I'm very grateful.
Let's catch up with Lee Vague, the Public Safety Director, in this month's Driving with the Director.
I'll be honest, one of the best things about being in law enforcement are the cool vehicles, built for purpose, and sometimes built on two wheels. This is a Trek Farley 5. It's made of the same carbon fiber as an Indy car, but it's also made to roll over snow, sand, rocks. It's basically a monster truck for hipsters. And I think it's the perfect vehicle for my guest today, Bill Mason. Bill Mason is a police officer, paramedic, avid cyclist, and all-around great guy.
Hello?
Bill Mason, this is Lee Vague. How you doing?
Hey, Lee.
Can you meet me back at the office for a detail for just a little bit?
Sure.
Hey Lee, what's up with the bikes?
Well, you are my second guest on Driving with the Director.
Oh, what did I do?
You've done a lot of things. That's why you're my second guest. You're an interesting guy. Hop in, hop
Okay.
in. Have no fear. We've done one of these already and nobody was injured.
That's good.
Today might be a little different.
Interesting, great.
So you came to us in what year?
2003.
And before you came to us, you had a different job?
Yeah, I was a paramedic, flight paramedic down in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
A flight paramedic?
Yeah, it was.
That's cool.
It was a lot of fun.
So tell me about that.
10, 12 years I worked down there. I did 750 missions.
Wow.
With an organization called MedLink Air.
I think any job that when you do something, you refer to it as a mission, automatically is cool. I've never done a mission in my entire life, so I just go to work. You did missions. But you left that, as cool as that sounds,
Yep.
and you came to us for a career change. So what was the reason? What was your thoughts behind that? It's a pretty significant change.
Well, we were living in La Crosse, and my wife grew up in Red Wing, so she wanted to get closer to family, and my sister lives in Apple Valley, wanted to get closer. So
nice.
It just so happened that Woodbury was hiring medics and training them to be police officers. And so I went through St. Paul's Police Academy and started here in February of 2003. Yeah.
Away from here, you have some different passions, and one of them is bicycle riding.
Right.
So tell me about that.
Well, I've always been a cyclist ever since high school. It was just fun.
But you're a pretty serious cyclist. Like I know people who ride bikes, but you're kind of like the real deal.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the real deal. I do like to go biking once in a while, and I do a bike race every year with my son up in Hayward, Wisconsin. And last year, me and a couple other officers did the Road to Hope. We rode our bikes into Washington, D.C. Yeah, you ride about 250 miles in 3 days. I was pretty scared because I've done some long rides, but I've never done that much in 3 days.
Sure.
Usually I'll do a long ride and then I'll sit there and whimper and sit on my couch for 3 days after. They raise money for an organization called COPS, Concerns of Police Survivors, and then also for ODMP, which is the Officers Down Memorial page. So the money that they raise is great. It goes to families who have lost someone in the line of duty. We raised over $400,000 last year. Okay, now, Lee, what's up with the bikes on the back?
I feel it would be fitting if we actually just went on a little bit of a bike ride. Will you go on a bike ride with me?
Sure, why not?
It's a beautiful day. It's a perfect day for a bike ride.
All right, sounds good.
Let's do this.
Ice left on the pond there.
Yeah, it's going to be going away fast. This was a good idea.
Yeah, it was.
A beautiful day.
Yeah, definitely.
Bill Mason, thanks so much.
Thank you, Lee.
For hanging out for a while, and thanks for everything you do here. And you're thinking of maybe doing that Memorial Law Enforcement Bike Ride sometime again in the future? You up for another one?
Yep, I think we skipped it this year, but I think next year going to give it a go again.
Excellent. Thanks again.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of First Response. If you have any questions about the Public Safety Department, feel free to send us an email. You can also get instant updates about the department on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Well, another show done. El Duno.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you have any questions or concerns or ideas, email us, call us.
Yeah.
Find us out on the road. Yeah.
Might be some more leaves on the trees. The geese might not be as angry
honking at us
they are today. But we'll see.
We're in their spot, maybe, huh?
And hopefully that it is nice. Maybe we'll be back outside again.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it would be good.
Swimsuits?
No.
Oh, no.
Because I know you're watching probably inside.
You know, you could do that, and we'll let you know when we decide.
Remember
Just meet us
bucket?
here.
Remember when we did the bucket one?
Oh, the bucket challenge?
Yeah.
The ice water?
That's
Yeah, I
what it
remember
was.
that.
Yeah.
Cold.
Not fun.
I don't know why I brought that up. It's just,
Random.
It's exciting.
You want to wear your swimsuit this time?
Yeah.
The heat's getting to us. The heat is getting to us out here.
It's really hot in these vests.
Yes, dark blue and sunshine. Wow.
I'm so glad I don't.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we'll see you next time.
Bye.